Welcome to week 6 of social media and web analytics at Tilburg University. As usual, I thought I'd walk you through the main learning activities for this week. First main activity is the video lecture, so the recordings that we post online. This week, we're talking about viral marketing. So we're going to think about what is viral marketing, and is it something that I as a marketer, you as a marketer should actually care about, and can you control it? So for a long time, I had the idea that, yeah, it's something that's out there, but I don't think it's something that as a marketing analyst or as a designer of an ad might be able to do anything about. So, just don't worry about it too much. I've reflected on that and thought, no, it's actually an important topic. So I thought I'll motivate for you why I think it's important and why I think as a marketing analyst, something we should care about. Then we'll think about what features of ads might be positively associated or negatively associated with the virality of an ad. So what makes an ad more likely to be shared? Finally, we'll think about whether among things that could go viral, whether something called an improvised marketing intervention, so think of this as something a little unplanned that you just post, do they go viral? And what features of these improvised marketing interventions make them more likely to go viral than a different improvised marketing intervention? Then there was a computing lecture this week. So kind of splitting up week 5's computing lecture into 2, where we talked about sentiment last week and computing positive, negative sentiment for text. This week, we're thinking about topic modeling with text. So trying to infer kind of correlations between different tweets and saying, these set of tweets talk more about some topic A versus a different topic B. How can we go about doing that? How can we infer topics from the text? Particularly if I, as an analyst, don't want to say, these are the set of possible topics. How can the computer kind of run an algorithm and determine topics for me? And then if it can do it, how do we implement that in R? This computing lecture this year is online. Then there's the lab assignment. So in addition to the lectures every week, there's a lab assignment I want you guys to be working on. This week's lab assignment moves away from text. So there's like 2 to 3 lab assignments on text, 2 to 3 lab assignments on regression. And going back to the very first week, we were thinking about networks. And I kind of want to revisit now, finally, the idea of networks again. So kind of to start and end the semester thinking about networks. What we're going to think about is influence and sub-communities. So the idea here is, can we isolate or find influential people in a network? And then also within a network, can we split it into sub-communities somehow? How might we go about doing that? This is the final lab assignment for the course, so it covers week 6 and 7 in a way. And to go through the entire lab assignment, you are going to need some of the functions that are coming up in week 7's computing lecture. So if you start going through it in week 6 and you find that you're kind of hitting a wall and you don't know what to do, that might be because some of the stuff we need might be living inside next week's computing lecture. And I urge you just to hold on and wait a moment before continuing there. In this week's lab session, we're going to continue doing what we've been doing every week. It's going to be group presentations from the topics assigned from week 6. So we're going to talk about virality in the group presentations as well. And then we'll discuss in whatever's left over in the class time, bits and pieces of lab assignment 5, either questions that you guys have after working through it, or I might cut and paste, or Guy might cut and paste bits and pieces of it that turn it into something that might be relevant for an exam, for example. Finally, what else should you be working on when you're not in class time? You're not preparing for working on a particular lab assignment or going through the readings for the week. Keep working on group presentations if that's relevant for you, if you haven't finished your group presentations yet. Group technical assignment number 2 is now online. Should be working through that and kind of getting closer and closer to the finish line for that. That's due at the end of week 7. And of course, with exams coming up, you can continue working on your exam revision, collecting notes, working on any practice exams that we've made available. I look forward to seeing you in class or in the video lecture, and I'll see you soon.